When was the last time you felt truly connected to something real? When was the last time you felt like you were living in the present moment, soaking it all in? When was the last time you experienced flow state? Was it recent, or can you even remember? I feel like so many of us are floating, flying through time and space, even with no real connection to remind us of our current predicament, that this is our one precious life in this body, on this planet, in this time, and that we have full license to rest and enjoy it and experience it the way we want to experience it. Even with the best intentions, we begin a new year or the next season or a Monday thinking this next time period will be different than the last. This year, I'm going to start that business, or this week, I'm going to turn my phone off at night and get better sleep. And then we wake up at the end of the next year or the next week, and nothing has changed. The time flew by, and we didn't even realize it. We weren't awake for it.
Why don't you butterflies on you? The wings. The gentle wings. The pretty wings.
They're drying out their wings.
Yeah.
I think one thing that helps me slow down and feel connected in this more present is choosing a new whole framework that is actually conducive to change. And let me explain what I mean by that. Our culture developed through a certain lens, a certain framework. So if you are wanting to do something countercultural, or even just different, you're gonna have to step outside of that lens or framework to be successful. Because if you don't, you're just repackaging something old. I live in the United States, obviously, and something my husband and I have been exploring, and I even had a small conversation about this in the comments a couple weeks ago, is that our country was founded, our country and our culture were founded within a ruler-subject framework. I honestly hold no political allegiance with what I'm about to say, but our Constitution, the United States Constitution, really is a stunning document, and it did a lot of things well. What I think is kind of painful to recognize and realize is that our country was founded with these safeguards to prevent a tyrannical monarchy, with the intention of safeguarding from a ruler-subject framework. But it was founded through slavery and genocide. And again, you might not believe me, but I really am not even trying to discuss any sort of political affiliation here. I'm not commenting on the political nature of the time period. This is not even a discussion about whether or not we can hold our founding fathers accountable for enslaving people. There's plenty to discuss there, but not in this discussion. My aim is to point out, however, that our country was founded with the intention to safeguard from a ruler-subject framework. But our ancestors, our founding fathers, did not step far enough outside of that framework. They were so indoctrinated after generation and generation of existence in that world that what they provided was just repackaged colonization in the form of a master-slave framework. Master-slave, ruler-subject, superior-subordinate. And this has permeated our culture since. So why don't you feel connected to anything? Maybe it's because throughout our lives, we as subordinates or as superiors have been fulfilling our role in this framework and have jumped through all the hoops that it has provided, from the way we were birthed to entering the school system to entering the workforce, war, taxation, consumerism until death. Maybe to feel connected, we need to remove ourselves wholly from that framework. We have to operate on a completely different wavelength or frequency. The solution can't be born of the same substance as the problem. It's more effective to heal violence, not with violence, but with love. So, what can you do to reconnect? There are 1,000 things you could do. Some simple, some expansive. Maybe just start with the first and simplest thing that allows you to step outside of the ruler subject framework and into something of your own. I'll share just a few things that have made me feel really connected lately. I hear my daughter singing somewhere. After reading The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, my family has since we've had a couple of true Sabbath days since I finished that book. For us, that looked like no technology, just reading and playing and napping together. And when we were able to make those couple of days happen, it had such a tremendous effect on my mental health and mental clarity, not only for that day, but for the week to follow. When we dedicate our total day to rest and play, it's easier for me to remove that guilty feeling that I should be doing something, being productive, working on something, cleaning something. I have so much more patience with my children because I'm able to step outside of the thought pattern that they're distracting me from something that I need to get done. And I can just be with them and enjoy it, which is what I want more than anything. My my husband and I spend the entire day together too, obviously, which is something that we crave and we've always craved. It is just so freeing to put a wall up between myself and any sort of feeling of cultural expectation of labor or consumerism. Something else I feel like is outside of any particular framework that makes me feel flowy is creating to create. There are so many avenues available to us that don't require cutting through any red tape or jumping through any hurdles. Start a YouTube channel, paint, draw, write, create energy in your life by working out or going for a walk. Just bring to life and create space for something that's been floating around in your head in your own way. The last thing I'll mention is cooking a recipe just because it is or because it sounds delicious. When both my husband and myself were public school teachers, we meal prepped hardcore as a way of survival. That way, the few hours we had at home together weren't spent cooking and cleaning, and we made good stuff. It's totally possible to make a really delicious meal prep, but it's taken me a bit of time and intentionality to get out of the mindset that whatever I make needs to be quick and easy and efficient. Not that I don't still cook meals that follow those guidelines, because as a pregnant mom of two, I still need that for survival sometimes. But I have had a lot of fun with like frivolous baking lately, or cooking a dinner that isn't super easy or even in my skill set, and just enjoying the process because there's nothing to hurry for. There's no one to answer to other than the dinner timeline that we set for ourselves. I made this video So maybe just call attention to the possibility that you're trying to solve a problem within the problem. You're trying to solve a problem with the source or through the source of the problem. And to offer a few examples or maybe just inspiration on stepping outside of the problem and viewing yourself as the authority or the superior in your own life. I think what's most important to remember is that in whatever family or cultural dynamic you grew up in or you participate in, however hard it is to ditch the standards and expectations, there is still something quintessentially you. And you have every reason to just be you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like these conversations. And as always, I'd love to discuss any ideas you have in the comments.